Hi everybody. How you doing? It's another episode of Jabroni Talk with Wiggy and Felger. You can catch us both on the Beasley Media Group of stations in Boston. Hot 96.9 for the Wig in the morning. Felger and Maz, the highly rated Felger and Maz show, 2 p.m. On 98.5 The Sports Hub. We're brought to you by Original Grain, the maker of the limited edition 1946 Red Sox watch, which you can pre-order now at originalgrain.com/Red Sox. Again, originalgrain.com/Red Sox, made from refurbished wood from Fenway Park in 1946. Really great souvenir item. Check it out, originalgrain.com. You all can join us at any time by hitting the fan line in the upper right-hand corner of your screen. Fire off a question or a comment on whatever you want. Treat it like a talk radio show, except we get to see your pretty face. We're just going to roll. We'll bring in a few guests along the way. We'll do 5 questions with Wiggy at the end, and that's the show. Wiggy, start with last Thursday night. I haven't talked to you since the Pats preseason game. Does that allay some of fears that anyone might have?
Yes, Tom Brady, you haters. No, Brady went out there and did exactly what I expected him to do, and that's, take what the defense gives him, show that, hey, he's still on point. The OTAs meant nothing. He was doing it without his best player, Rob Gronkowski. His timing looked good. His quarterback presence looked good in the pocket when he was able to elude the rush a little bit. And find what was James White on the touchdown. So to me, Tom Brady is right where he needs to be.
Oh, the James White touchdown, Wiggy. I could have completed the James White touchdown. Are you kidding me? And 90% of the stuff was all little dinky dump offs. That was the whole. He only threw like 3 balls over 10 yards.
But listen, it doesn't matter. It's about the comfort in the pocket, making the plays. You couldn't have completed that touchdown. See, that's the great thing. You always talk about, like, me and homers and Pats fans, but that's the great thing is when haters like yourself, when something happens, you look for, oh, well, I could have completed those passes. Well, it was dump offs, it was flats, it was this, it was that. Bottom line is, he looked good. He missed a couple throws downfield, had some drop balls.
So, Wiggy, I think he looked okay. I mean, he looked fine, but he didn't really show me anything. He was 6 of 6 throwing to White. I think he was 4 of 5 throwing to Edelman. He was like 5 of 6 throwing to Hogan. It's like, I know he can throw to those guys. That doesn't prove anything. You're right. He does not need OTAs to throw screen passes and dump offs to James White. You're right. But he does need. Let me finish. He does need OTAs to get on the same page with new receivers. And you tell me, what has he done with the new receivers? Nothing. Zero.
But listen, some of these new receivers, they might not even give you anything. The thing that's bullshit is with guys like yourself and all you fucking haters out there that aggravates the shit out of me is, it's, what has he done? Listen, I don't care. He looked good. We talked about this. This is what you talked about. Oh, Brady's not going to be ready. How's he going to look? He's put on a little bit of weight. Blah, 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 all this other bullshit. Goes out there, and then you say he looks good, but then you instantly turn to, well, he's not throwing to the guys he needs to throw. Who's he not throwing to?
Decker didn't get a ball, but he threw one ball at Madison down the field, almost got him killed. He tried to put balls downfield to Dorsett that should have been intercepted. If you were watching the game, he could have had 2 or 3 balls that were intercepted.
Listen, Decker might not even be on this team. He threw Cordell Patterson. I think he's going to be more of that quick screen like we saw him make that play, the little quick tunnel screens. That's what you're going to see. He's going to take a few shots to Dorsett, which we've seen him do last year. Dorsett needs to come along, but you're going to have Edelman, you're going to have James White, you're going to have Gronkowski. We're sitting here talking about Decker. He might not even make the team. I don't need him to complete balls to Decker. I need to see Tom Brady do exactly what I saw him do. Take the shots down.
The opposite.
Come on, Felger.
He complete screen passes to James White in his sleep and little dump offs to Edelman in his sleep. But that's not what this is for. It's to work on other guys you will need, and you will need more than just James White and Julian Edelman. You will. You will need more.
But that's what this offense is going to be. That's what this offense is going to be moving forward. This offense is going to be, hey, maybe you get Hollister on one seam or one out route. You get Gronkowski. You get James White. You know, when Burkhead gets healthy, you got Edelman. That's what you got quick screens to Patterson. That's what this offense is going to be. A couple in routes to Dorsett, maybe a couple deep shots down the field. You can get hit with a pass interference. That's what this offense is going to be. It's not going to be it's not going to be the offense that you want it to be, because he doesn't have some of those players that will fill that role.
Okay, and I agree with that. My standards for Brady have gone up, Wiggy. I mean, that's all. I've been hard on Brady, and I'm going to be, because they traded the future. They traded the next guy. So if you're going to trade the next guy, you better get 3 elite balls to the wall years from Tom Brady. And so the pressure's on him to come through, because they just traded the future. And so that's what my commentary reflects. Just hold on one second. Jason on the app says, what about the new targets? This is sort of my feeling as well. We heard all this stuff about Patterson. Is he actually a target to use? See, I see. No, I saw a slip screen. Great. He runs down the field. Great. I don't think that fellow runs patterns. And oh, by the way, on the screen that he caught, that should have been a touchdown. He stepped out of bounds for no reason. I'm not sold on Cordell Patterson.
But that's what he is. That's what you got to do when your offense is missing certain pieces. What you have to do is you have to change your offense into a little bit. You have to evolve it, and that's what Patterson's going to be. Patterson might maybe catch a couple balls here. He's not a route runner, so he has to learn and develop that. Run a go route, run a slip screen. That's what you do well. And when you get your opportunity to do that, you got to make a play. You're going to see the offense kind of evolve a little bit and change, because you don't have that outside, that receiver that you might need. And that's what I think people got to understand. And Brady will be fine with that. We've seen him do that in the past.
It's just unbelievable how do you guys, you Patriots homers, get circulation with all the pretzel twisting? You know, you twist yourself into a pretzel to try and, put logic to things, but they make no sense. Like, for example, Al in the comments says Decker should not get a ball from Brady. Well, if Decker had come in and, run the routes right and gotten on the same page with Brady, you all would be saying, oh, look at this. They found another diamond in the rough. They found a guy from the scrap heap, and then he's going to be a big part of the offense, and we have Decker, and we have Decker, and we have Decker. Now that he gets there and it's a total basket case, you're all saying, he's not going to make the team. Don't even throw him a ball. You people are such frauds. It's unbelievable.
No, you know who the frauds is? All you Patriots haters, because you know what you do is you go, even if Decker would have caught a couple quick slants or this, that, and the other, guys like yourself and all
I give him credit for it.
Hold on. You Patriots jabronis would have been like, well, there's short slant passes. I could have completed that. I could have thrown those to Decker. I could have caught that route. You would have came up with some excuse on why it was so easy for Brady to do. Why isn't he hitting the 17-yard dig route behind 3 safeties? Let me see you. Listen, Decker.
Just let me get straight. The fact that Decker sucks and Cordell Patterson can only run go routes and screens is a good thing. Got it. Good. It's good that Decker sucks. Good news for the Patriots. Decker blows. Got it. Excellent. Let me write that down.
Catch the ball. If Brady's not throwing you the ball, there's a reason why he's not throwing you the ball.
No, it's good news. Those guys suck. Excellent.
And if you're only doing something if you only can do a couple things well, then that's what I'm taking advantage of. That's why the Patriots organization is the best organization, because they don't try to jam round pegs into square holes. They say, you know what, Cordell Patterson, you're not a great route runner, so we'll do what's best for you. I can't take you haters no more. It's aggravating.
No, you're right. Chad Ochocinco was a great signing, and Albert Hainsworth was a great signing.
And
really worked out perfectly. No square peg and round holes there. Tremendous.
They try to run him on the things that. What was Chad's problem? Chad couldn't catch the ball.
It's just a cliche. They don't fit square peg. They make mistakes like everybody else, Jermaine. Sorry. Dennis and Matt on the app say sign Dez. I think we both agree with that. I'd rather have Dez Bryant than Eric Decker any day of the week. That doesn't even need elaboration. Let me ask you one more. It's going to tie into our guest that we're going to bring in today. What do you think motivates Brady? And let me ask you, in the last couple of years, what do you think has motivated him more? Deflategate and that thing, or the fact they drafted his replacement in Garoppolo and he had to beat back Garoppolo and sort of prove to Bill and whoever else that he's still the guy? What do you think was the bigger motivator for him?
I would say the biggest motivator for him it probably would be Deflategate, because he's always motivated, but he gets extremely motivated. And now, granted, I understand the Garoppolo thing, but he gets extremely motivated when people basically say he can't do it because of X, Y, and Z. And I know the Garoppolo bringing him in was motivation, but I still think it wasn't necessarily for that. I think they were looking for a thing. But I think the Deflategate, because it made it seem like the only reason why you were good is because you needed to alter the footballs. And that to me, I think, is way more motivation, because now you playing with that man's manhood and basically saying, if it weren't for the balls, you wouldn't be nothing.
So let's bring in our first guest. It relates to that. David Wedge. He's the author of 12, The Inside Story of Tom Brady's Fight for Redemption, the new Deflategate book that is out. Dave Wedge with Casey Sherman, two great local news reporters, put this together. And Dave joins us now on the fan line. David, how you doing?
Good. How you doing, guys?
Good. Let me ask you, what do you think was a bigger motivator for Brady, Deflategate or Garoppolo?
I think Deflategate. I agree with Wiggy. Remember, Spygate was all about the Patriots and Belichick. They were the cheaters. Brady. But with Deflategate, it was specifically Brady. And, Felger from covering him and Wiggy from playing with him. Tom's not the kind of guy that's going to talk about his legacy. But what we learned in researching this book was that it is a factor in his life. He does care about his legacy, and he's very cognizant of his place in history now, where, again, he's not going to talk about it from the podium, but, he understands what he's about to do. If he can win another Super Bowl, 6 rings, no one can touch him. So I think that's what drives him more than anything, is to sustain his greatness and improve upon what he's already achieved. In addition, he carries that Deflategate thing like a chip on his shoulder.
Well, I'm sure it motivated him, but I disagree strongly. I think Garoppolo was a much bigger motivator. Belichick was a bigger motivator. When Belichick comes out the night they draft Garoppolo and says, we all know Tom's age and contract situation, that was in 2014. The previous 3-4 years, Wiggy doesn't want to hear it, but Brady's play, his production had started to creep down. There was a reason. Let me finish. There was a reason they drafted Garoppolo when they did, Wig. And then the coach says, we know Tom's age and contract situation. That motivated Brady for 4 full years. Those were the best 4 years of Brady's career, arguably. That's not a coincidence. The Deflategate was a log on the fire, no doubt about it, but it started with Garoppolo. Now you can open your big stupid mouth.
We did that on your show with you and your lapdog, Tony Maz. When I was on, I used to do Felger and Maz with you when it was the best show in the city. We did that, and I disputed those numbers. We looked at the numbers that Brady had before Garoppolo got here, and he was still putting up numbers. That's Tony Maz's thing. Oh my God, Mike! Look at his numbers. Look at his completion percentage in the last 3 years. We disputed that, and I proved you wrong. No, the numbers that he had were still very good numbers, and before Garoppolo got here. So I don't want to hear that nonsense.
It's okay to be wrong. Dennis on the app says Garoppolo was definitely the motivator. I agree with Dennis. Dave, you just want to follow up on that?
Yeah, Felger, I don't disagree with you on the Belichick factor either. I think that, as we write about in this book, Belichick in the first press conference after Deflategate broke, he said, go ask Tom. That wasn't lost on Tom. There's some frostiness there, as we all know about. I think that was kind of the first sign of it. I mean, he's always been the good soldier his whole career, done everything the Patriot way, quote unquote. I know you hate that, but he's like the epitome of that. And then all of a sudden he's got a scandal breaking, and his coach, couldn't get away fast enough. So I think there has been some issues there with Tom, and I think it has driven him. In addition to that, I think that Belichick continues to push Brady in practice and in the in team meetings and all that constantly, and I think that is fuel for Tom's fire too. He's constantly wanting to show Belichick his worth. I do think that's true.
Okay, one final question, and it's an important one. Wiggy, you have to just wait. I'll give you a chance at the end. I don't want you butting in here. It's a simple question, Dave, and it deserves a simple answer. Do you believe the Patriots were doing it?
Deflategate?
Deflating balls. Do you think they were guilty of what they were charged with?
I think the Wells report is clear that the balls were tampered with, but the question is whether or not they knew they were breaking the rules. But the bigger question is, did the punishment fit the crime?
No. I'm not asking that.
Okay.
We agree. The punishment did not fit the crime. Did they commit the crime?
I think it's clear the balls were tampered with, yeah.
Thank you. Yes, I think that is obvious. There is no way around it, Wig, unless you want to try. I have, and every time we bring this up, this is a problem, Dave, because people can't argue this with me because I know it too well. I'm too well versed in it. I was obsessed with it, like you and many others were. I mean, when you read page 4 into page 5 of the Wells report, with that first string of text messages after the Jets game where Brady throws that nutty, and McNally, who's the locker room attendant, he's just supposed to exchange the soap in the officials' locker room. That's his job. When he texts Jastrzemski and says, Tom sucks, I'm going to make that next ball a fucking balloon. And Jastrzemski's response, I talked to him last night. He actually brought you up and said you have a lot of stress trying to get them done. He was right, though. I checked a few of the balls this morning. The refs fucked us. They didn't reinflate them. McNally texts back, or he said a few of them were almost at 16. They didn't recheck them after they put air in them. McNally texts back, fuck Tom, 16 is nothing. Wait till next Sunday. Tell him to wait for rugby balls. Watermelons are coming. The only thing deflating is his passer rating. When you read those, it's over. Like, it's over.
Well, all I will say is this. Yes, first of all, I love your dramatic readings of those texts. It's awesome. They should put it to music, and you should put that on YouTube. But I think that the only thing missing there is he's not saying – to me, the only question is, did they know they were breaking the rules? Did they know they were –
Oh, that's a good one, Dave. Really? Oh, I wonder. Hold on. Wait a minute.
No.
The ref initials them and puts them back in the bag and zips it up, and we take them back out. Is that breaking a rule? I wonder.
Well,
Come on.
I honestly, those texts, I mean, yeah, they're going to make watermelons and rugby balls and all that, but they're not saying, hey, let's deflate them less than the league allows. That's all I'm saying.
Fine. Fair enough.
And the thing that I would say real quick, because I know, Felger, you got a major damn hard on for this Deflategate. Every quarter,
I'm just well versed in it. That's all. I just know the subject.
Your boy in Green Bay basically came out and indicted himself and said, hey, listen, I like to.
Aaron Rodgers does it too. Eli Manning does it too. Peyton Manning does it too. And look at the Pittsburgh Steelers this season, and preseason. Everybody did it. It came down to whether or not it was like Brady was the godfather, basically saying, you need to do X, Y, Z every single time, this, that, and the other. I think Brady said, hey, I like my balls at a certain thing, and boom, that's it. That was the end of the conversation.
I agree with Wig.
Yeah, that's fair, too. I'm not telling you that Brady ordered them to, go into the bathroom at the side of the field. Brady didn't know how they did it. He just wanted it done. They should have thrown the ball boys under the bus. McNally and Jastrzemski should have taken the fall. Brady should have taken that deal that Dave reported on with no suspension. And they should have. I mean, that's what those guys are there. Those guys are there to be fall guys, and they took the fall anyway. They've lost their jobs. They're no longer there, so they end up taking the fall regardless. I could do this for 4 hours, but we got to go. Dave, thanks for taking the time. Is there any final thing you want to say?
No, just, Reamer wrote a great piece last week about the Steelers getting caught twice doing it, so I do agree with Wiggy that because it's the Pats, it's a bigger deal. Then that's the point of the book, really.
I think that's true, too. Dave Wedge, author of 12, The Inside Story of Tom Brady's Fight for Redemption. Buy it now. Thanks, David.
Thanks, guys.
Okay, take it easy. Wiggy, let's wrap it up with 5 questions. How do you feel about that?
I'm always ready to go.
Let's do it. The crucial third preseason game is upon us, where starters play most of the time in that third preseason game. Which third preseason game, or I'll open that up for any preseason game, what preseason game stands out to you the most in your career that you loved or hated?
I think it was the Seattle Seahawks in God, I don't even remember what year I was playing with Minnesota. We played in Seattle, and it was kind of like my first year in Minnesota, and I caught a bunch of balls, and it was like, all right, we expected you to have a big season. We know that you're going to have a big season. So that, for me, that's when – I think it might have been the third preseason game is when you get that and the coaches say, hey, we expect you to make plays. Here's your opportunity.
What is the stupidest moment you ever had in a preseason game? We were just like, what? I mean, what are we doing? This is ridiculous.
Right. As soon as I started to get a little bit in the league, and then I'm like, why are we still playing these preseason games? Let the young guys do this crap.
Question number 4. Boston Globe story on Tuesday detailed a deep relationship between Brad Stevens and Josh McDaniels. Let me ask you this. So they're tight. We figure they'll both be here for a long time. I guess we figure McDaniels is the next coach of the Patriots. Who will be a more important figure? Who is a more important figure in Boston sports? Stevens or Josh McDaniels?
Josh McDaniels.
Dead on. Absolutely. It's not even close. I agree. Why do you say?
By far, because Josh McDaniels is going to be in the greatest football team franchise in all of sports history. And when he inherits it, I think the Celtics, maybe like 3-4 years, who knows where Kyrie and all those guys will be. So now it'll be Josh's job to keep it up to standards. Granted, it's not going to get up to Bill and Brady standards, but keep us as fans like, okay, we can be competitive and compete every year to make the playoffs and try to win.
It's just a more important job. I mean, just a football coach versus a basketball coach. It's not even close. I mean, most basketball coaches are really non-factors, even the good ones. I mean, it's about the players in that league. In football, man, I'm telling you, and it's what a job. I mean, he's taken over the greatest franchise in sports, the biggest dynasty in the history of sports, and it's his job to keep it going. Much more important figure, Josh McDaniels. I agree. Question number 3. Jay Cutler, apparently, I've been told, started a minor kitchen fire in the most recent episode of his reality show. I didn't even know he had one. Which former teammate, here's the question, of yours, Wiggy, would you feel most comfortable around in the kitchen?
I played with this dude in Minnesota. His name was Rod Davis. He was from the South. He was pretty good in the kitchen, like cooking up food, especially on the grill. It's a lot of them Southern boys that are good in the kitchen. I don't know what it is. Like once you get past like DC and you get to like Carolinas, Florida, Georgia, Alabama, them boys can cook it up.
What about what former teammate deserves his own reality show?
You're looking at him right here now.
The next one.
I would say my boy Randy Moss, without a doubt. Moss definitely deserves his own reality show. I would watch that any day of the week.
Okay. So we do the Wiggy word on the street. He sends me a text page, and it needs translation because he talks differently in his neighborhood than I do in mine. Here's the word in the street. Yo, let me hit the squad and set up the spot to get some bread because peeps are talking reckless and someone needs to catch a fade. I got no idea what that means, Wig. None. Yo, let me hit the squad up and set up the spot to get some bread because peeps are talking reckless and someone needs to catch a fade.
You're going to love this one. They just came out there with that New England sports survey or whatever, right?
Yeah.
Okay, so and it's been going on for a long time, which I love it. There's been a lot of sports media on sports media beef. There's yourself, Fred Touches came at you. There's the whole Kirk Callahan touch. So what I want to do is let me get with my peoples because I got a couple peoples. What we could do, put together a charity boxing event, right? We'll raise money. We'll put it to a good cause. And now you guys can get in the ring. Like you and Fred can get in the ring and somebody catching a fade means one of you guys are going to go to sleep because the other one's going to knock you out.
Don't look at me. What was Fred's problem?
I listened to the podcast. He was complaining about you being on wherever you go to Nantucket and broadcast. They're always hate. There's always some type of beef going on. Yeah. So what I'm trying to do is capitalize on that. We'll make a little bit of money. It'll go to a good cause. People can watch it. They can come see it. And you guys can do a celebrity boxing match or sports media boxing match.
Okay. I'll referee. I don't need to be in it. I don't care.
Come on.
No, I'm good. Fan line question. Let's bring in one fan for the final question of the day. It's our buddy Matt in Framingham. He joins us next on the fan line. Matt, what do you got for us today? What do you got for Jermaine Wiggins? He'll pop up here in a second. It takes a second sometimes to get these guys up. Go ahead, Matt. What do you got?
I'm just going to piggyback on the last question. So you want Felger to get in the ring. Wiggy, would you get in the ring and maybe catch a fade from someone like Zoe? Would that be?
Man, listen, Zoe would not last 30 seconds in the ring with me. If anybody's catching a fade, it's don't lack. Huh?
Well, Matt, hold on. Let's break that down for a second. I mean, Zoe's probably got 4 or 5 inches on Wig. He's got the reach on Wig. I don't know.
You're right. He wouldn't last 30 seconds. You'd be done by then.
No. Zoe, listen, Zoe's not built like that. He's not built like that. Zoe's from like Western. I played with Zoe. He's from Western Pennsylvania. He's a great guy. But listen, them knuckles ain't hit the pavement before.
He ain't from them streets, Wiggy. Is that what you're trying to say?
I'm just saying. Listen, it won't last long.
Country boys can fight too.
Yeah, I'm not saying they can't, but I know Zolak, and Zolak's not one of them.
Matt, thanks for the call. We appreciate it. Again, that's going to put the wrapper there on Jabroni Talk. Another episode. We're back at it Wednesday at 12:30. Buy your Original Grain watch. Pre-order at originalgrain.com/Red Sox. Wiggy, we'll catch you next week, buddy.
All right, peace.